And COVID changed everything. I mean, we were bringing in probably R1 million a year, and the last year we've brought in over 40 million rand. Hi, I'm Glenn Wolman.
And I'm Hayley Glasser.
And we're from the Angel Network. Welcome to In the Kitchen, which today, as you can see, is taking place outside the kitchen due to COVID rules. And what we're going to be preparing today, because we are both on a very strict diet with no carbs, are seeded crackers, which have absolutely no carbs. And we've brought out all these delicious spreads that we're going to put on our crackers.
So, I spoke to Jacques Dubrain from Flume Digital Marketing like 2 weeks ago, and he said he's very good friends with gluten. He doesn't mind gluten at all. and now you guys are the opposite. No carbs. And
there's so many different diets. They say, do you have carbs? Don't have carbs. Eat fats. Don't eat fats. Sugar's bad for you. No, you can have sugar. So right now we're on no carbs.
We're doing what we think is best for us.
And do you find that it's working well in terms of like performance and all that stuff? Like
I've lost 9 kilos since the 10th of June, so
wow.
It's working.
Okay, right, it's really nice. So, what are you guys sort of making? Is it these crackers?
So they're seeded crackers. They're made purely from seeds, and I'm putting on smashed ever on the one. I've put on smoked snook pata on the other. And I think that I'm good to go for now.
I have used an eggplant mayo, and I'll be using some avo too. Both very much good for me.
How did you guys first meet, as partners or as co-runners of the Angel Network?
So what happened is I was approached to pack toiletry packs for state patients, for children who were in state hospitals, and their parents would sit at their bedside for 2 or 3 days at a time, and they had no way of going home, getting food, getting toiletries, no money at all. And so we were asked to collect toiletries and pack toiletry packs. So I put it up on my Facebook page, and the next thing I had 500, enough to pack 500 bags. And so now I needed volunteers. So I put it up on one of the sites called Joburg Jewish Mommies, and Hayley responded. And the rest, as they say, is history. We started chatting that day. There was no Angel Network at the time. We started chatting. I said, I think it would be amazing to start a charity on social media. And we came up with names. There were a couple of ladies here, people I'd never met before. But they were can-do, enthusiastic mothers who wanted to make a difference. And we said, let's start something.
When I was packing with Glenn, I said to her when it was time to leave, I really love this. Please let me know if you need any help ever again. And I'd love to get involved. And she said, well, how seriously? So I said, no, seriously, I'd really like to get involved. She said, well, welcome. And the rest is history.
That's really, really cool. So going back to what you were saying, if you had to sort of summarize what the network does, like in a nutshell, how would you say it, like how it works?
We do everything. And as glib as that may sound, or as arrogant as that may sound, the truth is initially when we started, we were going to help orphan and vulnerable children from the ages of birth to 18. And we very quickly realized that there was a need far greater than that, and that we were able to fulfill the need. Because, for example, somebody came to us, they needed a prosthetic limb. Somebody needed a glass eye. And knowing we wouldn't be able to help, we thought, let's just put it up on social media and see what happens. And there were people who could help us fulfill these requests. And so we do everything not because we're confused, but because we are able to. Because with the need, there's somebody who can, generally speaking, I'm not saying 100%, but certainly 95% of the time, we have an appeal and we can fulfill the appeal. So we are now involved with education and training, housing, skills development, upskilling, employment, food, clothing, and then obviously the nice to-dos like Christmas boxes, Easter eggs, school shoes, blankets. We've done it all. We do it all.
That's really, just reflecting on the story and looking into you with the project that we did for the PDBA class. I'm a GIBS student. So, it's just, it was really just inspiring to see how it was almost like an accident, the way the network started.
Completely.
Right? And just to see that you responded to a need, to someone asking you to intervene in a need, and then you found something that really, really works, and you were like, let's just keep trying and see what happens. Yeah.
The byline was always helping where help is needed. It then became by giving a hand up as opposed to a hand out, because we didn't want to maintain that beggar mentality. We didn't want people to constantly be reliant on us. We wanted to be able to lift them up so that they could then go out and look after themselves, their families, etc., and change the landscape for generations to come. But initially it was, let's just help where help is needed. So if somebody brings a need, we'll do what we can. And it was really so simple in the beginning, and it's still not complicated, because you've got people who want to make a difference, you've got people who need the assistance, and it's just connecting them.
Yeah.
It is very simple to help, actually.
And our latest byline is connecting kindness, or hashtag rather, connecting kindness.
Yeah, I remember, we spoke about this when we had our Zoom call for the PDBA project, where you guys have almost found this really interesting sort of like Uber model for NGOs, where you don't have to be involved in the nitty-gritties of things, right? But you've created a network that has so much trust that when you guys do put out a need, the network almost like, gets out there and funnels the resources.
Exactly.
Did you sort of, you envision it like being that way? And yeah.
Emmanuel, the truth is nothing was planned.
Yeah.
There were no plans. There were no strategies. It was just, let's do good. Let's be kind. Let's make a difference. We're better together. Let's take people who want to make a difference, who are tired of going to gala dinners and big benefits and have got donor fatigue. And if they just want to donate one pair of shoes anonymously this month, and next month they want to assist with education, that's cool. And if they don't want to help, if no appeals speak to them until something comes along that tugs at their heart, that's also okay. It was just whatever. We had no expenses. We do now have some running expenses. But at the time, for the first 5 years, there were no expenses. Nobody took a salary. We had absolutely no expenses. So whatever came in, we would pay out, and we didn't need to be concerned about in terms of budgeting. Now we're having to look at budgets and forecasts, and we've had to change our whole model, because we never expected to grow at this sort of capacity, and COVID changed everything. I mean, we did. We were bringing in probably R1 million a year, and the last year we've brought in over 40 million rand.
I think also when we started off, and even now, it just gives people the opportunity to give back. No matter how big or how small, people, they often say to us, we've always wanted to give, but we don't know where to go and we don't know what to do. And we've opened up a platform for people to give. Yeah. Even as much as 60 Rand for a pair of school shoes. Someone once said to me, I'm sorry, all I can do now is just give 60 Rand. And I said, 60 Rand is going to change a child's life. Yes. So it's never too big or too small.
Right. I think, there's this permeating concept of a hand up versus a handout that you guys keep speaking about. At what point, did you become so aware of the fact that, yes, you can try and keep people alive, but if you don't empower people to have a good livelihood and give people opportunities to fend for themselves, then it's just going to be a rolling cycle of poverty. At what point
I think
did you realize
right
that?
at the beginning we were aware of it. In fact, the very first thing we did when we had these 500 packs of toiletries, we went to donate them to Joburg Gen, and one of the ladies who was with us, a very close friend of mine, Debbie Mayer, said to me, Glenn, this is fantastic, this is awesome, but where to from here? How does this uplift people? How does it change lives? And she put that seed in my mind. We can't just be seen to be giving all the time, giving out blankets, giving Christmas boxes, Easter eggs, school shoes. We have to be looking at the person holistically, at their family, at their circumstance, their situation, and see where we can improve it, where we can lift them up. And so we still do the handouts. For example, every year we hand out to the homeless people what we call cozy comfort packs with sleeping bags, pillows, blankets, a carrier bag, and some food. And there are always going to be handouts, Christmas, Easter, but we have done so much in terms of providing employment for people, helping people get back on their feet so that they can open their own stores, getting people educated. We've got doctors, we've got 3 doctors, an accountant, a lawyer that we gave a hand up to put them through school. That's my phone in the background. I'm so sorry. I'm
It
so
doesn't
sorry.
stop.
I should have put it on silent. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
I think also a story cut very short was a gentleman who lost his wife, and I get emotional talking about it. And he was living with his children in a rat-infested hole under a house. And we heard about the story, and it's really just, it broke our hearts, it spoke to us, and we gave him a little bit more than a little bit. We helped pay his rent and get back on his feet, and today he owns his own
Fruit
grocery,
and veg.
Yeah, fruit and veg
In
store.
Bears Valley.
His children are at school, he's remarried, and with a little bit of a little hand out, it empowered him to
The story
go
actually
forward.
came to us because a social worker had been sent to him to have his children removed from him because they were living in this rat-infested hole. And she was so broken when she met this incredible human being who had such love for his children, and she couldn't take them away. And that's when she approached us, and we put the story up. And our members were so incredible, and it was really at the very beginning of when we started. They hardly knew us then. So the trust and there wasn't that relationship yet. We raised enough money to pay rent for a fully furnished flat in town for he and his children for a year, so that he could then go back to work, save money, and today he's got his own fruit and veg store.
So it's a really beautiful story, because then that seeps into his children's
Exactly.
futures and livelihoods,
Exactly.
and them not having to then, suffer and start from
Correct.
behind the start line.
There's so many more stories like that. There's so many more.
And it's really truly inspiring. I really just wanted to have a chat with you guys, and get you guys on the platform, and share the story with other people, because I think the key takeaway was, at least for me, is just go ahead. Don't think about it too much. Just go ahead.
Anyone
and
can
start.
do it.
Absolutely.
Anyone. You need nothing. You just need a heart.
Yeah. But thank you so much for the time.
Thank you for
and-
inviting us. Thank you,
Thank you.
Emmanuel.
Yeah.
And from the minute we met you, we thought you were amazing, and we feel privileged to be a part of your project. So thank you.
And we definitely think you need to be on radio. Thank
We'll
you,
see
man.
whether that happens.
Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram. www.theangelnetwork.co.za is our website. And come along, join us, see what we're up to.
All right. And cut. Okay.